expect the Alliance's dogs to make it this far.
That's GA? He looks like one of the bad guys from Serial Experiments Lane. He looks like a Saiyan.
GA Revorce, you're going to stop hurting people starting right now.
Now you tell him, Roddick.
I am merely trying to fulfill the ardent wish of every man, woman, and child on Fargate. The Mua who were snatched away from Earth have spent millennia hoping, praying for a way to get back home.
So, that warrants an invasion? If a home is all you want, there has to be a better way.
The people of Earth have incessantly squandered the resources Mother Nature gave to them. Don't you think it's time they received a taste of their own medicine? Just like the Mua did when they were thrown off their homeland.
I don't think that's for you to decide.
So you want it all to be in some god's hands? If so, I will become that god. I've already laid hands on the creator role here. If being the creator of all things makes you a god, then all that remains is for me to take the throne for myself.
We're not gonna stand here and allow that.
Not the most interesting villain in the world, but I'll take it. It's passable. I mean, it's an early 90s JRPG. What are you going to do?
I fight in order to protect my own life. If you won't even let me do that, then why was I created? I see no point in further discussion. Only the strong survive. The first law of nature, wouldn't you agree? Now, allow me to show you just how insignificant you are.
It's cheesy and cliched, but I love it.
Allow me to grant requiem.
Dragon Roar! Dragon Roar! Dragon Roar! Oh, what's he doing? What's he doing? Did he turn to lightning? What's going on?
Unbridled storms, drag them into your pummeling death.
Oh, shit! Dude! Yo, he's actually pretty strong. Holy shit. I look like I got 2 healers. Oh, is that it? Did I get him? Yes! And they're all alive, too.
I hope I can keep this up.
Did so much damage. Is that it? I think that's it. It's a movie! A movie's gonna play. Shit! God damn. Holy shit. Fuck yeah, erotic. Is he bleeding green? Second form? Holy shit! Yo, what did this look like in the original? Oh, second phase.
This is trouble.
Accept
Dragon Roar.
fate and kneel down for your divine purging. This
Sacred Law.
has been decided. There is no turning back the clock. You will sleep now. Sleep eternally.
Is it instant kill? What is this? Oh! It was an element that I can absorb.
This battle has been decided. There is no turning.
Oh no, do I gotta sit through this animation every time? It can't kill me. I think it's like... I think it's light elemental. I absorb light elemental attacks now. So it's healing me. Thanks.
Thank you.
Don't die. Just spam it. Just spam Dragon Roar.
I needed that. Dragon roar!
Oh, is it gonna get Welch? Welch should be alright. Welch is wearing the same thing I am. Or same thing Roddick is. Just don't kill her. Don't kill her. Don't kill her and then I kill him. I'll have to do this whole thing again. Oh! She's alive! She's alive! She only has 1 HP, but she's alive! Oh my god. I don't know how she's alive. Hey, living with 1 HP is still living. It counts. Oh, that would have been so bad if she died. Revolutionary. Boom. I think you get that for beating the game? Or beating the boss.
Is he gone?
He just, like, disintegrated.
All he wanted was to survive in the end, didn't he? All the power in the world can't help a person overcome a fragile spirit, I suppose.
Oh, Ronix. All the power in the world can't make you secure in who you are.
Maybe that's the secret. Maybe you need a weak body to be strong in spirit.
Perhaps. When I look at the Rokians, I can't help but hold out some hope for the human race, too.
They may not have the technology, but they have the heart. We
Could learn a lot from them. Sorry, I hit down the button a little too soon. They're standing right there. They can hear you, but alright.
Thanks for everything, you guys.
Why the sad face? Who's to say this is goodbye forever?
I know, right?
Meeting all of you has been one of the most valuable experiences I've ever had.
You tell him, Joshua. You also got your sister back, too.
I really have to thank you, Roddick. You helped me realize something very important. I'll never forget any of you. I promise. I bet you can't bear to listen at this point. But don't worry. I'm sure you'll see me again soon enough.
I'm sure you'll see me again soon enough. We will. I think we're going to play more Star Ocean games on this channel.
Goodbye, everyone.
The way my man saunters up to that gate. Who's going to leave last? Joshua? Yep, Joshua. I think Ashley should have left last.
They're all gone.
Okay, I hope. We should have gotten the ending.
Elia.
Things might have been different if I were born on the same planet as you.
He likes him. Okay, but real talk. Where is that ending? Did I miss it? Oh no, did I miss it? Did I fuck it up somehow? Where is it? What was it called? Shit, where is it? What's it called? Ends? Timeless treasure. What does it look like? Oh, did I miss it? I'll just keep going. I'll just keep going. If I missed it, whatever.
Listen, you take care of Millie, all right? Girls like that don't come along every day.
Oh, it's so...
You ready, Elia?
Yes, just had some personal things I had to say to Roddick, that's all.
Oh...
Well, let's get back to Roke then.
They're all leaving together? It's kind of awkward, but alright.
I've had the worst time finding a young swordsman to pass my skills on to. Not training Roddick when I had the chance feels like I've missed a very precious opportunity.
I think that's the SFT that we didn't get.
Well, I've got a long time yet. No need to panic.
I think that's the SFT we didn't get in the private action. We're gonna get it on another playthrough, so don't worry.
For a change. I could use a nice leisurely walk now and then.
Eris? Eris! Where did you go?
I'm about to say, we saved her.
Joshua.
Try not to stray too far away from me. I was worried I lost you again.
Oh, quit worrying so much. It's not like that's gonna happen. Even if guys like that show up again, I think we're strong enough to fend for ourselves this time.
You are. And you got some of the best equipment in the game.
Stronger, Eris. Maybe even a little too strong.
Now, what do you mean by that?
How much longer are you gonna be talking to Father? I'm gonna leave you here, you know.
Wait a minute. Eris! Where are you going?
Okay, they're pretty cute together. I guess it's a special ending for each of the characters if you're high enough affection. What the fuck? What the hell? What is going on?
Guess my work here is done. We've sure been through a lot.
Who's we? You talking to me? Are you talking to the player?
I let a hell of a big catch run through my hands. I gotta admit, Roddick was pretty darn cute. I'm sure he's getting busy with Millie right now, too. Why did I bother worrying about her? I should have just stolen him away.
Oh, Welsh. I like how there's no hammer animation or anything. It's just
Julia are doing okay. Heck, maybe they're even married.
not in this ending.
Someone as uptight as he is, they'd have so many problems if they had any kids. Ilya might have it tougher than I thought.
She's like a shipper on deck. I think that's the phrase.
Maybe I ought to pay him a little visit sometime.
Can she freely travel through time? Maybe she can. How do they even get back to Roke? I don't know.
You ready?
Are you sure we can do this? 300 years is nothing to sniff at.
It'll be all right. We can use symbology to slow time to a virtual standstill.
We'll use this sapling to mark the spot then. Do you think they'll notice it?
Roddick's not the most perceptive of young men, but Millie ought to be able to point it out.
You just saved the world. I love how they're just hanging out afterwards. Like, yeah. Oh, it's like a time capsule. It's like a time capsule? Oh, I see.
Here, this is from me.
Oh, it's like a time capsule. I guess that's a sword.
Everyone all set?
I guess they each have unique gifts to give to the future. Oh, they didn't. They only Welch and Ashley had gifts though.
I guess this is goodbye for good then.
Yes, but we may come back for you again.
Though I'd prefer if we didn't have to.
Well, you're certainly welcome. Although try to make it a more leisurely visit next time.
We will. But I think I'd prefer it if Roke stayed an undeveloped civilization.
I think so too. Becoming developed just means your air gets polluted, your water gets contaminated, and your greenery starts to wither. I don't think there's a single good thing about it.
Oh, I think there is. For one, we wouldn't have met you. And we wouldn't have had the amazing adventure we had. Don't worry about us. We'll make Roke even better than it was before.
Oh, Roddick.
When that happens, I'll be sure and pay.
You're always so adult.
Well, see you.
We may not see each other again.
I'm glad we had the chance to work together.
For us, the real adventure begins now.
The real adventures begin now. Okay, I'm thinking that ending where they, Radix parents, Ronixus, Iria, Cius, Joshua, Marvel, Tinik, Welch, Eris. Yo, what's going on? It's like they didn't tell the other guys what the characters' real names were. Ah, whatever. Oh. Okay, yeah, I think that cutscene that plays when you hand off the, when they plant the tree and all that, I think that's the ending. I'm guessing I'll get it once these credits stop. Okay, thoughts. So, this is the third Star Ocean I beat. I beat Star Ocean 3 and I beat Star Ocean 4. Played Star Ocean 5 for about 5 minutes. Played Star Ocean 2 for a couple hours, but I lost my PSP like years ago. And I don't know if Star Ocean 2 will ever come to America. God, I hope it does. Star Ocean 1, playing through this game... Oh, let me back up a second. So when I was a teenager, I played a lot of RPGs. I played basically all the Final Fantasies. I played like the Lufia games. I played the Lunar games. I played Xenogears, Xenosaga. I played almost every RPG I could get my hands on. And for a couple years, I only played RPGs. And so I got very familiar with like the tropes and the cliches of the RPG genre, especially the ones made in the 90s. This game was made in the 90s. It was remade for the PSP, and this is a glorified port of the PSP version. I love how cheesy and cliche. I love everything about like 90s RPGs. I love how they all start the same. They all start with the hero in a borderline idyllic setting in like a village, and something crazy happens, the call to action, which necessitates them going on this crazy adventure to save their home. And in so doing, they eventually save the world. And the final boss is always having a god complex and saying, I am better than everybody, and I can decide who lives and dies. And I love it. I love it. It's cliched. It's old hat. I could understand you get tired of it, but I love it. This has an interesting twist, though. It's almost like they married a sci-fi and like a classic console-style RPG together. So, and it was interesting how they used time travel. If you weren't here for the whole thing, there's essentially a disease in the present time that can't be cured. The only way they could develop a serum for it is to essentially get the blood of someone who died 300 years ago. So they straight up just go back in time to 300 years in the past, beat up what you think is going to be the final boss, steal his blood to bring it back to the present to cure everybody, Well, the second they do that, these random dudes just appear. Turns out they use the time machine too. They take his blood and they use that blood to essentially make a clone of the final boss, which becomes like the true final boss. So in going back in time, they did save the present time from this disease, but they also inadvertently created this threat to the human race. So they kind of stop there in terms of like what the ramifications are of them going back in time, and the game doesn't really blame them for it. They're like, hey, this happened when you did this, why don't you go take care of it? And they do take care of it. But at no point in the game where they're like, maybe we shouldn't, maybe this is something that shouldn't be used, maybe man was not meant to use this time travel nonsense, maybe this is beyond what we should be using. Nah, because at the end of the game they're like, well, we took care of that, now we'll never have a problem again. And they don't try to destroy the time gate or like isolate people from that planet. They're just like, oh well, it was an unforeseen circumstance, we took care of it, so we're good to go. And I like that. I like how they don't dwell on like, you know, should man really be messing with these factors. 2 credits? Two credits for the price of 1? Dick Smallberry. A man Dorn was voiced by a guy named Dick Smallberries Jr. That can't be his real name. Oh, that poor guy. Oh, can you... Richard. I would go by Richard. Richard Smallberries. In fact, just call me Richard. I don't have a last name. But yeah, I really liked how there's not a moment where they're like, are we really the bad guys? Like, the heroes are pretty much unambiguously heroic. And they don't really have too many flaws. Like, it's not the hero's actions that get them into the situation. It's the hero's actions that get them out of it. So, they're very heroic, and it's easy to root for them. And Roddick is cheesy as all hell. He's very generic, but I don't know. If I had played this in the 90s, or if I had played this when I was playing a bunch of RPGs, just kind of binged them, I'd be like, no, there's nothing special, you know, whatever. But because I haven't played an RPG like that in a long time, it's almost like a return to form. It's almost like, here is that era in my life that I kind of forgot about. And it's a joy to just go back and visit it, but also experience a new thing. Let's talk about the gameplay. So, I love games with like a deep crafting system. And this game does... The crafting system is weird. Like, normally it's like, hey, collect these items, put them together and you can make something, you know? And the items are hard to get. So it's almost like a reward for collecting them. In these, like, not really. So if you're good enough at alchemy, you can take iron, which costs like 10 full, and turn into anything. Turn into like Philosopher's Stones, which sell for almost 500,000 full. And there's like no limit. You can just make as many as you want. Like, you might not always be successful, but they're so cheap, you're pretty much limited only by your patience. So you can make millions of full just like that. It's like easy. You gotta level up enough. You have to fight enough battles to level up that skill enough. But once you, like, if you know you can do that, it really doesn't take that long to figure it out. It's very open. If this game was made today, they probably wouldn't let you do that until like a good way through the game. Here, once you're halfway through the game, you can basically farm as much money as you want and spam certain fights to get your like levels really high.
They're gone.
Oh, I think this is it. I think this is the ending.
They sure are.
I feel sad that they're separating, actually. I really like these characters.
But there's still something bothering me.
Yeah, where's my ending trophy?
What?
Nani?
What was Ilya talking about with you on Planet Styx? You looked pretty embarrassed, whatever it was.
Oh.
Oh, no you don't. I knew it. She said something weird to you, didn't she?
Millie, what are you doing here?
Who the hell is this guy? Is that her father?
Father!
Oh, it is her father! I remembered!
Hey, there wasn't a tree here before.
$300 years ago, our friends put this here. They did this for us.
Oh, there's 9 little shinies because it's 9 possibilities. Boom! Timeless treasure. There it is. Fuck yeah. Got it. Got it. It's the harder one to get too. Finished. Oh, what a game. Yeah, like as I was saying, I love these characters. Every one of these characters is awesome. There's not much to them, but they like do their job pretty well, and they're differentiated from each other enough. Am I stuck on the screen? The Cave of the Seven Stars awaits to test your bravery. Those seeking a challenge may access this dungeon from the basement of Reverse Tower. Oh, I guess I guess I start at the old save point. All right, we're just gonna let the movie play, and I'm gonna talk a bit more about this. I'm gonna turn the volume down too. I don't know how loud my voice is. It's just a comfy game. It's just a comfortable game. It reminds me of a time, mainly during my teenage years, where I played nothing but RPGs, and I fell in love with the characters in those games, and I fell in love with the characters in these games. They're very simple and kind of paint by numbers, but again, I haven't played a game like this in a long time. Now, if I had played like 3 or 4 RPGs in a row, and I played this, I'd be like, oh god, not another childhood friend that becomes a crush. Not another, guy who's embarrassed about how he feels about this girl. Not, more grown adults that can't express how they feel about each other. But it's kind of like you buy the ticket, you take the ride. And some of the cringier aspects are absent from this game. That could have been there. Like, there's not a scene where, like, Roddick trips and falls and, like, grabs Millie's chest or something like that. There's nothing like that. It's fairly subdued. More importantly, there's a lot of replay value. So, there are 9 optional characters. 9 of them. You can only get 4 each playthrough. So, bare minimum, you have to get to the end of the game 3 times with 3 different characters to get all of them. We have to do it for a trophy, but like all the characters play a bit differently. Like, can't say I was blown away by Welsh. I never really tried to control her though, so maybe that's on me. But some of her abilities didn't seem that great. Ashley's over there kicking ass and taking names. Ooh, the voice gallery. Yeah, so like I said, so there's the 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So those are the 4 that are guaranteed. You have to complete the game with that. There's Dorn, our favorite. And then there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So there's 9 additional ones. So to complete the voice gallery, you have to get to the end of the game with all 9 characters. I don't think you have to beat it. I think you have to get to the last save point. And once it saves, it just like updates the save gallery. Or the sound gallery. So at some point, once we get to the end of the game, honestly, that might be the last trophy we get, and I'd get the platinum without having to fight the final boss. Of course I'm going to fight the final boss. That would be such a cock tease. But anyway, going back to the story, this was like coming home again. This reminded me of like, weekends or like weeks I would spend going through like Lufia 2 or going through Tales of Phantasia, the first Tales game. Or things like that. Just these like classic old school JRPGs or console style RPGs, whatever you want to call them. And it was nice to kind of like have that moment again, playing through an RPG like this. It's different enough that it doesn't feel like I'm just replaying something I played 1,000 times before. The time travel angle and the going to other planets angle, it's enough to kind of set it apart from your everyday, sword and sorcery RPG, but at the same time, it's familiar enough that it's not completely alien to someone who's used to those tropes and those cliches. I liked it. I liked it a lot. And I'm looking forward to playing through it again, honestly. I'm looking forward to see what the other characters are like. I'm looking forward to see the shortcuts I can take. I'm looking forward to see like at what point can I start making like the most powerful items in the game and just like break the game in half and not like speed run it, but like, you know, do it a bit faster and more efficient. I have, you know, I have a literal roadmap. It tells you like what to do, X, Y, and Z to like get to the end, and it starts out with finish this run and make them read all the books, and then switch them out so everyone gets 9 out of 10, and that's what allowed me to get Timeless Treasure, one of the endings. Now it's like, hey, go back to a save when you could recruit Ashley, and don't recruit him. Don't recruit Joshua. Recruit Fia. Keep Mavel and get Tanique. Get all the SFTs this run and view the PAs for Ronix and Ilya. And then go back, recruit Ashley. Like I've got all this stuff. I've got like all this stuff I gotta do in order to get all the SFTs, which are tied to missable characters. And like if you try to do this without a guide, it would take you forever because you wouldn't realize you messed up until you're like most of the way through the game, and then you just learn it the hard way, basically. This game was not built with like trophies in mind. There's so many optional things and so many things you would never see on one playthrough that it does invite multiple playthroughs to like go back and see everything. Like you straight up wouldn't know that you could recruit other characters until like you got to this point. Well, that's not true. To get the group I had to turn down characters. But if you didn't know that and you just said yes to every character that asked to join you, you'd be like, okay, and at the end you'd be like, what? There's optional characters? What? Or you'd probably realize that when you got a weapon that like none of your characters could use, be like, what is going on? What is this crap? So I like that. And the game's not that long. It's probably one of the shortest RPGs I've ever played. It's short, sweet, to the point. Some RPGs just fucking drag. I think the worst example of this is probably Tales of Symphonia. I haven't played Tales of Symphonia in a long time, but it's a super long game. I wasn't like grinding excessively. I wasn't really like going out of my way to like do, but it still took me like 80 hours to get through that game. This one is like probably 20, maybe 25. It's your first time, which is super short. It doesn't even seem that long, honestly. A lot of the dungeons are kind of copied and pasted from each other. Like there is stuff that happens, but a lot of it is optional. I haven't played some of the more modern Star Ocean, so I played Star Ocean 4. But Star Ocean 4, there was like optional private actions, but in terms of like these like optional dungeons, like there wasn't that much in the game itself. Here, it feels like a third of the game is optional, and you can't see it all in one playthrough. So it invites you, nay, it demands you to like do multiple playthroughs, and I'm looking forward to it. So that's Star Ocean 1. Those are like my thoughts finishing Star Ocean 1. I'll probably do another one once I get to Platinum, in case, and you know, my thoughts might change a little bit. They might not. I don't know. Bottom line, if you haven't played it, play it. Especially if you're a big fan of like old school 90s JRPGs. And if you haven't played one in a while. It's a comfy game. Not too hard, not too challenging. Random battles get kind of annoying, especially when you get into random battle like every 2 feet. Like that's really, I don't know what's going on with there. But it's a fun game. It's a nice, simple game. I love it. 10 out of 10. Well, I don't know about 10 out of 10. It's good. It's good. Check it out. Especially if it's only like $10. I think I got it for $15. It's at $15 like price for pizza. All right. I think Future Casmir Z, you can stop it.